It's just kind of fun to say that. But if you do have an exercise ball at home, it is a fantastic tool. 20 bucks. So many things you can do on this ball. Strength training, flexibility, core training, cardio, which we're going to cover all of it today in about a 20-ish minute workout. So a couple of things to think about with your ball first. It's preference whether you want a softer ball or a hard ball, your choice, but obviously make sure that it is safe so there's no gouges in it. Probably a good idea to have it also about hip height so that when you sit on it, your knees are approximately in line with your hips, right? So then we'll start, this workout goes from upper body to lower body cardio core, which is kind of our F.I.R.E format if you're familiar with our F.I.R.E classes. I'm going to coach you through it. We're going to do a quick warm up. So I have 4 sets and then a little finisher for you afterwards, all right? So I'm going to take a nice tall stand, hold your ball out in front, start with a big breath. Inhale, stretch up, and exhale, squat, right? So inhale, lift, and exhale, squat. Pretty simple, but you are warming up your big joints in your body. So you're holding the ball in your hands. You're actually hugging it from your upper back. So it's a light touch with your hands, and as you squat, make sure your spine stays long. So you're sinking down into your hips. We're going to take this just a few more times. Always a deep breath in and exhale out. Now, the next time the ball's up in the air, side bend to one side, bend your knees through that squat, circle all the way around and up. Side bend the other way. And again, the further away the ball is from you, the little more challenging it is. The ball does weigh about 2 to 3 pounds. Remember, you're holding it lightly with your hands. You're actually hugging it from your upper back. We're going to take one more big circle here. Side bend, swirl around, and lift. Now, lay the ball down on the ground. Your feet are kind of wide. Roll it to one side. This is called a rolling lat stretch. You carve the outer edge of your hand into the ball and come back up. So you roll and lift. And it's kind of a dynamic, which is one of the biggest benefits of the ball, where it's nice and smooth. So you're getting rotation here through your spine now as you sink down into one leg, and the more firmly you press with the outer edge of your forearm onto the ball, the more you're going to feel lengthening all through your lats, all along there. Now you can emphasize the twist by reaching one arm out and up a little more rigorously. Tell you what, this feels, oh, back crack, we just got a back crack. This feels so good. One more time, both sides. And again, a deep breath. Now grab your ball. I'm going to take it down to one corner, up on the other corner, out, and squat. So now this is kind of framing your body. Again, big joint or big, kind of multi-jointed movement. Over, up, and side. Down, across, up, and side. One more time. And then I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to take it on the diagonal and lift. Lower and lift. Now the ball, again, it looks kind of innocuous really, but it is about 2 to 3 pounds, most balls. So you get a little, a little overload here. Let's have 2 more of these. And then we're going to take it in the other framing, or the other direction. So it's up and lower, lower, just so you're going the other way. And trying to press the ball out as far away from your center as you possibly can. Let's have maybe 2 more. Cross, down. So just definitely some ideas to do at home. Oh, I think I blew through that one. This one comes up on the diagonal and then lower and lift. So you're actually getting a bit of a lunge here. You could also abduct this leg out to the side. Deep breath, of course. Lunge and lift. 2 more. Something like that. And then pause and hold. So the ball's on the floor. I'm going to suggest we probably practice a few rollouts. So you roll out to your thighs are on top, and then roll back and stand up tall. And just kind of practice squatting down, get your belly on the ball, roll forward till your thighs are on top, roll back into a squat, and stand up. So it's transferring your body weight on and off of the ball, and feeling kind of confident with that. So it's a clean movement. Down, rolling forward, press back strong, and stand up tall. Let's do that 2 more times. The further out you roll, the more challenging it is. So if you want to roll all the way out to your toes, you sure can. And then have a seat. I suggest we also practice rolling forward into supine, what's called supine incline. So your low back cradled by the ball, press into the ball and come back up tall. So you kind of curl the ball under. As you walk forward, you could cradle your head in your hands, and then you curl your hips under, push back into the ball to come up tall. Do that a couple of times, rocking forward, press back, and come up nice and tall. Maybe twice more. Walk forward, and press back, sit up nice and tall. One more time. Curl your hips under, roll forward, press back, and lift up tall. Now while you're sitting tall on the ball, take just a few to wake up your stabilizers. Lift, float one foot, reach it out, twist toward that leg. Ooh, hello, balance muscles. Come back in, open, other leg, stretch it out, and twist. Really pull your arms wide apart. Come back to center. Let's just do that one more time. So you're working to sit up super tall, lift a leg, rotate and reach, and bend that knee. Bring it back in, twist the other way, float the other leg, stretch the leg forward, and then lower. Nice. So hopefully you're a little warmer now. We're going to move into our 45 seconds of work and 15 seconds roughly to transition. So I'm going to start with upper body first. It's going to be a push-up. You can do a push-up a number of ways. The first one most people are familiar with. I'm going to start here, thighs on top, hands about a little wider than your chest. So spin your fingers forward, neck is nice and long, and of course you inhale as you press, exhale to straighten the arms. And that might be perfect. You can stay right there. Gone through your push-ups, loving life. Lots of options here. You could lift one leg as you do your push-up, alternating hip extension, which obviously adds to the challenge. You could also open that one leg out to the side as you do your push-up. And of course, again, deep breath, really deep breath, pulling your belly button in and up. Now another option for your push-ups, of course, the further out you are, the more challenging it is. You could have your shins on top and work your push-ups there. You could also do your push-ups on the ball. So you walk back, have your hands on the ball, be careful so they're not slippery. Walk your feet back, probably a wider stance to start. Bend and straighten. So it's a little more narrow, typically a little more triceps, but it's easier sometimes on your wrists because your wrists are less flexion in your wrists. And sometimes just holding the plank is perfect. You can hold the plank and walk out and walk in. All right, so there's some options for your push-ups, upper body push. Now I'm going to hamstring curls. So lower body, you have a seat and rest your heels on top of the ball. With your legs out in front and or arms out at your sides, press your heels into the ball, lift your hips up and curl and release. Pretty straight up. Now you work to keep your hips still. So you're really pulling the ball in as close as you can and pressing it away, but you're also pressing down into the ball, pretty strong. The more you press your heels down, I think, the more you're going to feel your hamstrings fire up. Now you could curl in and hold, extend one leg and reach the other leg out. Lower that long leg, both heels in, one leg up, extend and lower. So obviously that adds to the challenge. Up and reach, lower, pull in, reach up, one leg out and lower. And then roll your hips down, grab your ball with your feet, toss it to your hands, which is actually a fun little play right there. Just tossing your ball back and forth, feet to hands. It's always fun to, it's a little core challenge. And then get up with no hands, which is also a bit of a challenge. So a cardio, 45 seconds of jack with bounce, or with the ball. bounce the ball as you jack, which is a little more coordination than what some people realize. You could also jack and toss, toss, toss. So you could toss, you could bounce. You could toss, you could bounce. Deep breath. Fun times. And then you could do fast jacks, where the faster you bounce the ball, the faster your feet move. And then core. So we're going to go to a supine plank. So you walk forward. This is your supine incline position. Remember that walking transition that we did earlier? Perfect. Once you walk forward, find a place where your back is cradled by the ball and you feel core engagement. So this is a plank, right? There's not a lot of movement. You want to curl your head and shoulders up to the point, where you're loaded, where you really feel your entire trunk is engaged. Neck's relaxed. So feet together, extend right leg out and left arm back. And then come to center and switch. So you have opposite arm and leg, reaching apart. I don't know whether you can tell, but I got a little shimmy going on. So the size of the ball makes a difference. You might be a little more supine, depending, on the size of your ball and the length of your spine. But the most important part is to feel stable in your center while you alternate reaching opposite arm and leg. And then curl forward and walk back up. Have a seat. So, moving on back to round 2, upper body. Now this is a lat pull. It's hard to get pull movements without tools, but here's the way I'm going to suggest we get it done. Your lats, remember, are all these muscles here, and they're responsible for pulling down. So if you plant your hands on the floor, press back until the ball's probably under your low belly, and then focus on pulling forward. So you press your hand straight down into the floor and pull your chest in line with your thumbs. Toes are reaching back. Your spine is nice and long. A very deep breath. Inhale as you reach. Exhale as you pull. Now really focus on that pulling action, kind of strong. You have to emphasize drawing your shoulder blades down your back and feeling your neck. It's like a long neck turtle coming out of its shell. You can always blend this with the push-up. So you could reach, pull, push, and lift. But it is a lat pull. Whether you add the push-up or not, stay focused on lengthening your lats here as you reach overhead and engaging or shortening your lats as you pull. Last one. And then walk back and come on up. All right. Woo, lower body. I'm going to go to a squat. I'll do this from the side. So as you squat, the ball will go overhead and then stand tall. Inhale as you squat, exhale as you stand tall. And that might be perfect. But holding the ball lightly in your hands, and with your legs, your legs in a comfortable squatting distance apart from each other, knees track over your middle toes. Now, if you wanted to give it a little more, kind of a modification or variation on this, go down slower. So it's 3, 2, 1, and up quick. 3, 2, 1, and up quick. Low, lower, lowest, up tall. If you wanted to, on the way up, you could hop. Low, lower, lowest, pop up. Low, lower, lowest, pop up. 2 more. Any version that works for you. Yay. And then we're going to bounce and step. So a little cardio. goes into a shuffle. So take 2 steps to one side, and then 2 steps to the other side. 2 steps to your right, and 2 steps to your left. And that might be cool, right there. If you can, shuffle 2, 3, shuffle 2, 3. And you can take it kind of slow, or you can pick up the pace, make it quick as you can. Shuffle 2, 3, shuffle. You gotta smile. And trying to bounce the ball below your hips. So you bounce the ball kind of low. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Who says you can't add a squat on the side? Shuffle, 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 squat, center. Shuffle, squat, center. Shuffle, so you can push and pull. Shuffle, so you kind of play with that. Again. Nice. Bird dog. So back to core. We're going to have a belly down position, or prone over the ball. Woo! When you're belly down, you always make sure your abs are engaged. Otherwise, it's quite nauseating. Arms separated in X, feet separated. As you inhale, opposite arm and leg lift, and lower. So you alternate sides, lengthening as you lift, and coordinating it so that it's simultaneous. Woo! Hello, balance. Always try to keep your neck relaxed. And you're balanced so much on top of the ball that actually you could lift all 4 limbs and feel, you know, your back muscles working, your stabilizers working. And that's bird dog. All right, back to upper body. We're gonna have a seat for a tricep press. So this can be done 2 ways. I'm gonna build it slow. If you walk forward on your ball, sit up tall, straight arms, so fingers point down, and you lean back, push against your hands, and then press your torso forward. So your torso presses back to bend your elbows, and then your arms straighten to tip your torso forward. Say that 10 times fast. So it's leaning back and forward. And that's a great place to start. I would be hugging the ball with your hands, again, to engage your upper back muscles. When you're ready, you lift your hips off of the ball and bend and straighten. I'd be very aware here of collapsing your chest. So this is not healthy for your shoulders. It's a small movement. Less is more. In so many cases, less is more. So a little bend of your elbows. The real key, the real payoff, is when you straighten your arms. So you straighten all the way up and straighten all the way up. Let's do about 4 more. If you wanted to get saucy here, you could pick up one leg. And of course, if you do one, you want to do the other. Nice, and then have a seat. So I'm going to go to lunges. So take the ball out in front, stand nice and tall. Alternating lunge, straight up. Now, personally, I like to do a figure 8, so you can see that from the front. I swirl the ball across the front knee as I lunge, because then I can get rotation through my spine. It's almost as if the opposite elbow is coming down toward the front knee. And if that's cool, you stay right there. You can emphasize it, get tall, get little, tall and small. Or add a plyo. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, which of course adds cardio. All right, so lunges. And then we will go to another cardio. I call this peekaboo. So the ball's out in front, and you squat to one side and stand up. Squat and stand. Squat and stand. So you're kind of playing peekaball, hello, on either side of the ball. And you could go a little faster. And you can move, add a little footwork. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's kind of like you're shuffling side to side while the ball stays pretty still. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ha. Let's go down for a side plank. So lower onto one side. I'm going to suggest the top calf, rests on the ball, not the foot, but the calf. And then your bottom knee is bent. Your bottom elbow under your shoulder, of course, in line with your hip. And then lift into a side plank. You could stay right here. You could have the top hand behind your head. You could do a little twisting, keeping the ball still. You could hold still with that top arm up and lift and lower the bottom knee, woo, which adds a lot. So the bottom foot stays on the floor. And then we'll do the other side. So I'm going to do 20 seconds about on either side. Again, just to give you a bunch of ideas, because there are so many things you can do with this ball. It's crazy. All right. Bottom elbow under your shoulder, in line with your bottom hip. Top calf on top, top arm up, hips lift. So obviously you're pressing down with your top calf and trying to lengthen your spine. You could stay right there. You could lift and lower the bottom knee. Deep breath. You could take your top hand behind your head and twist and open. The bottom knee can be up or down. Last one. Yay, side plank. Now, going back to upper body. This is called an IYT with a clasp. So you'll be belly down on the ball again. Low belly on the ball. And your knees are probably a little bit bent. That allows you to lengthen your low back. Arms go overhead. And you lift into an I, lift into a Y, lift into a T, and then clasp your hands and reach back. So it's a shoulder movement. I, Y, remember abs pulled in, T, clasp, and reach back. Let's do 3 more of these. I, neck is relaxed, Y, T. You could also put your feet against a wall for this one. I. And that helps you to stabilize a little more. Otherwise, you might move, on the ball, and you might have to keep readjusting. Let's go one more. I. Y. T. And clasp. All right, release. Take a quick twist here. So while you're belly down, this feels really nice just to limber up everything you just did. You could make the twist a little more specific to your upper body by keeping your hips still. Or you could let your hips roll and let your whole body turn, which also feels really nice. All right, I'm going to lower body, adductors, meaning inner thighs. So we're going to have a seat, and your calves were on top of the ball earlier. We're going to do that again, both calves this time. We had one calf earlier. So they're not on the very top, they're on the top sides. Your feet are free, and you hug the ball with your calves. And then lift your hips up into a bridge. So you have inner thighs, posterior chain, your glutes, your hammies all working. Arms pressed down, kind of at a 45-degree angle. Keep your shoulders still. Turn the ball to one side and come back to center. Turn your ball to the other side and come back to center. Make sure you keep an even hug with both legs the entire time you're turning. You're trying not to roll. You don't want to rock the ball. You want to steer it. So you steer it to one side and come back in. And steer it to the other side and come back in. Let's do 2 more. Remember to relax your neck and feel the whole back side of your body as well. Your triceps press down, your hands press down. 1 more. Whew. And then back to center. Lower your hips, grab your ball with your feet, toss it to your hands, pop on up. Oh, cardio. All right. So this one is high knees. Hold the ball out in front and tap 1 knee at a time to the ball. And you're really trying to make contact, not just, I shouldn't have said tap, I should have said squish. Squish your knee into the ball. So you're really trying to press it up there. And you can stay at this pace. You can kind of pop it a little harder, or you can pick it up. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Any rhythm works. Bip, bop, bam. Maybe quick to finish. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, core. This is called a trap bug. So you lay down on your back, the ball's on your belly. You place your forearms on one side of the ball and your thighs on the other. Now the harder, so you want your spine long, first of all, no arching, and no flattening out your low back either. The more rigorously you press and trap the ball between your forearms and your thighs, the more you're going to feel your core. And then, opposite arm and leg pull apart. So remember, breathe deeply, relax your neck, and really brace your abs while you trap this ball and reach one arm and the opposite leg apart from each other. Woo! Last one. Make sure you're even, and then give the ball to your feet, place it on the floor, let your calves rest on top. Take a quick little roll side to side. So those are your 4 kind of suggested blocks: upper body, lower body, cardio, core. You could extend the time. This is more to give you a bunch of ideas. You could work with 1 block over and over and over until you really feel good about it. I'm going to give you a finisher to close with. So toss the ball to your feet, take a stand, and this is an alternating single leg deadlift. So you have the ball in your hands, stand up nice and tall. You tip over just like a deadlift. Your hands are just touching lightly. One leg reaches back, and then maybe grab the ball and reach it forward. Put the ball down, put your foot down, and stand up tall. So the emphasis here, hip hinge, is right there. Strong hip hinge, very long spine. Other leg reaches back. Maybe you reach the ball forward, lower the ball, and lower your foot, and then stand tall. Okay? So you could stay right here with just the leg. When you're ready, you start to add the arms. So the leg goes back, the ball goes forward, you lower the ball, you lower your leg, and then the other side, leg goes back and up, ball goes forward, lower the ball, and stand up. So I would stand up at least every other rep. Let's do it again. Tip over, one leg back, you could stay right there. If it works, add the arms, lower the leg, stand up tall. Last one, tip, leg goes back, lift it, maybe the ball lifts, and lower the ball, and stand up tall. Okay, so that is an alternating single leg deadlift with shoulder flexion for all that's worth. Now your one leg could go on top. So this is another kind of option to play with your right foot on top. You could also add the single leg deadlift. So your hands could stay on your hips. Now you, instead of the hands on the ball, your foot's on the ball, but it's the same hip hinge. So you're working to keep your spine long. Roll the ball back, woo, and bring it in. Thank heavens for furniture and walls. One more time. So you roll the ball back. You could add a T back fly to this. I lied, let's do it again. So if you had some dumbbells, you could tip over and open, and then come back in. Let's switch legs. So the other foot goes on top, and it is your shoelaces. Okay, so try to get your shoelaces on top. Remember, every movement, is a scaffold. First, you have to feel comfortable here, standing with your foot on the ball. And then you start to move the ball back and forth. And if that feels good, tip at the hip. So you're in a hip hinge, open your arms, and then stand back up tall. Right? So you could tip, and you could do any arm position you like here. The arms moving just adds a level of complexity. You get to do whatever works for you. Maybe two more. Hands could go behind your head to remind you to push your head back into your hands. Hands can come behind your back to remind you to keep your chest open. Yay, and then come back up. Let's do a quick stretch. Sit tall, take a deep breath, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, twist to one side. We did this in the warm-up. Relax your shoulders, turn your head as far as you can. And then inhale, stretch back up. Turn to the other side, relax your shoulders, turn your head to look as far as you can, but keep body weight even in both feet. Do this one more time. Lift, twist to one side. First, turn your head in one direction, keep your body weight even in your feet, and then look forward over your opposite shoulder. So your body's turning one way, but your head's turning the other. Last time, lift, twist, press down evenly into your feet. Look back over your back shoulder as far as you can. And then turn in a counter twist, look forward over your front shoulder. And relax. Now step one foot, shift your body weight to your right, and step that right foot back. I'm mirroring you, but whatever works for you. Step to one side, that leg goes back. Reach that same arm up in the air. Oh, that should feel sweet. Big release, stretch through the front of your hip flexor, spinal extension, shoulder flexion, and then release. Sweep that leg around in front, and a hamstring stretch. Flex your foot, hinge at your hips, lengthen your spine way out and over that leg. Maybe you catch your foot and give it a little pull. Maybe you keep both hands on your thigh and you dig your heel in. Press the back of your thigh into the ball, and then we'll switch. So go the other way, stick that leg out. Try to get it right in line with your body so it's not out to the side. Same arm, up in the air. A little bit of a back bend if that works for you. Take a couple of deep breaths. Oh. And then sweep that leg around in front and move back on the ball a little bit so you can press the back of your thigh into the ball, flex your foot, hinge forward, and that means your sitting bones kind of lift up off of the ball. You might grab that foot, give it a little pull, take one more deep breath, and then release. Let's come up tall, take a stand, grab your ball one more time, stretch it way up in the air. We'll do that full body integration. Hold the ball lightly with your hands, hug it with your upper back. As you side bend, soften your knees, circle all the way around and up, go the other way. Keep your head pretty much framed between your arms so your whole upper body moves in one unit. Bend your knees as you come toward the floor. Take it one more time, circle around and lift. Last one, and then lower your ball. That, my friends, is what I had in mind today. Keep the ball rolling.